Steve Innocente is the president of Innocente Brewing Company in Waterloo, Ontario. For Steve, his love for the art of beer making is something born of a lifelong passion for science. But as the appetite for craft beer in our province continues to grow, the business of microbrewing is increasingly attractive to entrepreneurs from a wide range of backgrounds. Our reporter Brendan Murphy brings us along for a closer look at the microbrew industry in Ontario and discloses some of Steve's advice for a local businessman on the cusp of launching his own microbrewery right here in London. A mysterious mixture bubbles away. 14-foot-high stainless steel vats line the walls. Pipes and hoses snake about the room as temperature gauges keep close tabs on their potent contents. You could be forgiven for confusing this place with the lair of a mad scientist. In fact, you'd only be half wrong. Steve Innocente is a scientist, but he's far from mad. He's one of Ontario's new microbrewers, and this is his business. Innocente Brewing Company of Waterloo, Ontario.
Well, I actually never thought I'd be doing this. I started off as a scientist, did my master's and PhD at Mac, and then I moved overseas to Britain, and I was a postdoctoral fellow there for nearly 10 years.
Since moving back to Canada and opening the Innocente Brewing Company just 10 months ago, Steve says that what began essentially as a hobby has grown into so much more. A career in which he can combine his interest in science with his love of good beer.
Every batch to me is like an experiment. I just get to drink the results now. It's not bad.
And while Steve might be understandably enthusiastic about getting to enjoy firsthand the fermented fruits of his labor, sharing his beer with Ontario's eager market is also fantastic business. In fact, Steve is already running into limitations with his 4,300 square foot facility.
It looked so big when we moved in.
Yeah.
Now it's we're starting to run out of space.
The popularity of the microbbrewing movement continues to grow all across Ontario, and the finished products are constituting an ever-increasing share of sales at bars and pubs, such as London's Grad Club at Western University. Steve Innocente is far from the only Ontario entrepreneur to be taking advantage of this growing trend. According to a report released in 2014 by the Ontario Association of Craft Brewers, they now count close to 50 small breweries among their membership, and that's a number that grows by 1 to 2 each month. According to the same report, the economic impact in the province of Ontario from small breweries is over $400 million per year. Right here in London, the transformation of a long-standing Richmond Row landmark signifies the additional growth of the lucrative craft beer market. Local entrepreneur Mike Smith has decided that now is the perfect time to turn his existing business into one which is well positioned to cash in on the craft beer craze.
As you can see, we've done a brewery in the basement of what was the existing Jim Bob's, and we're morphing Jim Bob's into toboggan brewing. One of the things about the whole craft beer movement is it's just exploding. So one of the things we want is that we'll be able to sell it in LCBOs and beer stores. We're going to be able to sell it out of here, and we're going to be selling it other places. I know the grad clubs talked already about they want to take our beer along with a bunch of other pubs. So it's a fun thing to think about. You can go beyond the walls of your building with it.
Back at Innocente in Waterloo, when asked what advice he'd give to new brewers, Steve is careful to highlight the high expenses involved with getting a new brewery off the ground.
I can offer 1.5 million bits of advice. Make sure you have at least that many loonies lying around.
But he's even more quick to point to a clear upside to the business.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah.
And when people like it, then it's even more fun.
And as much fun as brewers like Steve and Mike might have in making their beer, Ontario's beer drinkers will almost surely have more fun in drinking it. For Western News, I'm Brendan Murphy.